Picture this. It's a Saturday, sun shining, birds chirping, and I'm just trying to soak up some calm on my ranch when I realize I'm trapped. Literally blocked in. Fancy, glossy city slicker cars are lined up bumper to bumper across my entire property. My gate's buried, my driveway's gone, my escape route non-existent. And it gets better, these aren't lost tourists. These are Linda's wedding guests. Linda, my HOA president and full-time dictator, decided to throw a wedding extravaganza next door: tents, speakers, a champagne tower, and zero regard for basic decency. I approach a group of guests, still in my boots and plaid, and say, "Hey, y'all mind moving your cars? I need to get out." A guy in a too-tight tux smirks and replies, "It's just a few hours. Can't you wait?" That's when I knew I wasn't dealing with guests. I was facing a cult of entitlement. They were about to meet the real stars of my ranch, Buck and Maverick. Drop a comment below with where you're watching from. This one gets messy. If you've never tangled with an HOA Linda, let me set the scene. She's the type who once fined me $75 because my barn door was too rustic on a Texas ranch. She's got a permanent scowl, like someone's always crunching chips too close to her vibe. Today, she's strutting in a cream pantsuit, barking orders into a headset like she's directing a Hollywood blockbuster, not her daughter's backyard wedding. I walk over, calm, neighborly, and say, "Linda, your guests are blocking my drive. I've got work to do. Can we clear it?" Without looking up, she swats me away like I'm a pesky fly and says, "It's a wedding, not a tractor pull, Tom. Can't you chill for one day?" Chill. Lady, I'm not asking for a yoga retreat. I just want to leave my own land without playing bumper cars with luxury SUVs. That's when I realized this wasn't cluelessness. It was a power move. And I had just the crew to handle it. Fuming, I head back to the house. I could have called a tow truck or the sheriff, but that'd take hours, and Linda would twist it into some HOA crisis about aggressive conduct. So, I try once more. I grab a marker and cardboard from the barn, scrawl in big letters, "Private property. Do not block driveway." I prop it next to a BMW that'd weep if it grazed dirt. 5 minutes later, I glance out and see Linda's cousin or some relative laughing as he flips the sign over, drawing a winky face on the back. That's when it hit Methy didn't just ignore me. They thought I was a joke. They had no clue two of Texas's smartest, mud-loving critters were about to crash their party like it was chow time. "Buck, Maverick, let's roll." Let me introduce Buck and Maverick. They're not your average dogs. These Australian shepherds have master's degrees in chaos and a side hustle in mud wrestling. I've trained them since they were pups, herding cattle, opening gates, even grabbing beers from the fridge. No kidding. They're sharp, fast, and just wild enough to make a grown man rethink his life choices. I give them the look, the one that says, "Time to work, but keep it legal." They perk up like it's go time. I open the side gate, and they saunter out, tails wagging like they're off to a picnic. The wedding's blaring some sappy ballad, and no one notices the two furry torpedoes weaving through the lawn chairs. Ranch dogs don't just move livestock, they read the room. And right now, my vibe was screaming, "Herd these rude folks to the mud pit." At first, the guests thought it was adorable. "Oh, look, doggies," a woman squealed, cradling her mimosa like a trophy. Maverick trotted up to a guy in a pastel vest, sniffing his shoes like, "You reek of overpriced cologne and bad choices." Buck hung low, eyeing the crowd like he was picking his mark. Then I gave the signal a sharp whistle and a point toward the far paddock, where I'd been running mud drills with the cows all week. It was sloppy, deep, the kind of mud that doesn't stain its owns. Suddenly, Maverick bolted for the gift table, barking like he'd spotted a coyote under the cupcake tower. People flinched, a chair toppled, a bridesmaid yelped. Buck swung left, circling the dance floor crowd like he'd done it a million times because he had. The guests started moving, confused, then irritated, then panicked. Linda was too busy yelling at the florist to notice the stampede brewing. It was like a slow-motion cattle drive, but instead of steers, it was overdressed city folks shrieking and clutching hors d'oeuvres. Maverick zigzagged, barking just enough to keep them going, while Buck flanked like a furry enforcer with no patience. And their destination? Straight to the mud pit. I trained those dogs to funnel livestock to that exact corner. Guess what? Tipsy wedding guests move like sheep when spooked. A few tried to double back too late. Buck cut them off with a growl that said, "Not today, darling." One guy tried to negotiate with Maverick. "Hey, buddy," said, right before tripping over a chair and face-planting into the muck. First one down. That's when the chaos erupted. Heels sank, dresses shredded. The pristine white aisle runner looked like a war zone. Linda turned just in time to see her sister-in-law get splattered head to toe in mud. She let out a screech high-pitched, nasal, like a kettle with an ego. "Get those beasts out of here," she howled, stomping toward the mess in her cream pantsuit like she could willpower it away. Too late. Maverick had chased a groomsman into the pit. The guy tried to vault the fence, slipped, and did the splits in a puddle that smelled like damp straw and bad decisions. Buck cornered 3 bridesmaids near the edge. One tossed her bouquet like a decoy grenade. Didn't work. She slipped, grabbed her friend, and they both went down in slow, shrieking horror. It was glorious. The DJ killed the music, leaving only screams, barks, and the sweet squelch of $400 loafers being devoured by mud. Linda stormed me, red-faced and frothing. "Call them off, you lunatic." I smiled, tipped my hat, and said, "Can't. They're unionized." She looked ready to explode, flailing and ranting about lawsuits and emotional distress while, behind her, someone's uncle crawled from the mud like a zombie in a historical drama. I stood there, arms crossed, watching it unfold like a dinner show. "Do something," she screeched. I nodded slowly. "Sure." I whistled the stop command. Buck and Maverick froze, sat, and looked at me like, "Job done, boss." That's when the guests realized the dogs weren't rogue, they were working. They'd been herded like the entitled livestock they were acting like. You could see Linda's brain short-circuit. Confusion, horror, then that smug fury bubbling back. She tried to spin it. "You'll regret this," she hissed. "I know people." I grinned. "Great. Maybe one can teach your guests to walk in stilettos through cow mud." She stormed off, heels stabbing the grass like it had personally insulted her. I thought that was the inched retreat. Sulk, maybe cancel the reception. Nope. I spot her charging the valet table, yanking out her phone like she's calling in an airstrike. She dials, glaring at me like she's ordering a hit. Minutes later, a beat-up SUV rolls up. 2 guys not guests climb out, scan the scene, and huddle with Linda. She jabs a finger at me like a soap opera villain. I'm thinking, here we go. Linda called backup, probably cousins or local toughs she thought could intimidate a rancher. Hilarious, considering the last guy who tried left with chicken droppings on his tires. Long story. They swagger toward me, puffed up like they're about to make a point. That's when I stroll to the barn and open the second gate. I wasn't planning to unleash the backup crew, but if Linda wanted to escalate, I'm nothing if not obliging. I unlatch the side gate, give a low whistle, and out come 6 goats and 2 donkeys, trotting like they've got VIP passes to the chaos. These aren't just any animals. The goats named after music icons Loretta, Patsy, and Waylon, who hates anything sparkly, and the donkeys, loud and nosy like overeager bouncers. Linda's goons freeze mid-stride. One mutters, "You've got to be kidding." "Nope," I say. "Just goats." The herd makes a beeline for the buffet. Guests scream as Loretta leaps onto a table, chomping a floral arrangement like it's her last meal. A donkey brays so loud the champagne tower wobbles. Linda spins, eyes wild, like her HOA kingdom's collapsing live. I haven't said a word, and the scene's pure, beautiful, muddy, goat-fueled mayhem. Patsy chews napkins like they're gourmet. Waylon locks onto a sequined bridesmaid and charges, nudging her into a decorative fountain. The donkeys knock over gift bags, and one might have left a present in the punch bowl. Guests scatter, slipping, screaming, like a skunk crashed a pool party. Linda's spinning, arms out, yelling, "Stop! Stop!" But no one's listening, not the guests, not the animals, not the cosmos. Her perfect wedding setup looks like a farm exploded in a department store. Then came the moment that broke her. Patsy climbs the DJ's table, lets out a dramatic bleat, and stomps the soundboard feedback. Screech, silence. Linda freezes, mud splattered, flowers in her hair, staring at me like I'd summoned a demon. I tip my hat and say, "Still think I should have chilled?" The wedding's done. Champagne towers toppled, cakes goat nibbled and donkey kicked, the bride sobbing in the mud while someone googles how to clean satin with barnyard stains. Linda stands, silent, in her ruined pantsuit, like she's seen the ghost of her HOA reign. Guests bail, barefoot, dresses hiked, carrying shoes like they fled a hurricane. One guy turns to me. Honestly, best wedding ever. Did Maverick just wink? Linda mutters, you'll pay for this. I shrug. Already did. It's called property taxes. I whistle for the dogs and head back, like it's just another Saturday task checked off. But then I hear a yell, not Linda's. It's her daughter, the bride, in a mud-soaked gown worth more than my tractor, screaming, Mom, you ruined it. I told you not to have it here. I told you not to mess with the neighbors. But no, you had to make it your HOA power trip. Linda tries to respond, but it's just a gurgle, like a frog choking on a rulebook. The groom stands, holding the wrecked cake, looking like he's rethinking his entire life. I lean on the fence, Buck and Maverick at my feet, enjoying a front-row seat to a family meltdown. Guests are filming TikToks getting a saga called Linda's Wedding Wipeout. Then Linda does the most Linda thing possible. She points at me and yells, he did this. He trained those animals to attack. Lady, you finally got something right. She's trying to flip the narrative, paint me as a barnyard warlord. But we're in Texas, on my land, and every guest was trespassing. I meet her gaze. Linda, I didn't train them to attack. I trained them to work. You just gave them a job. That shut her up fast. Then, like the universe was chuckling, a muddy guest, still clutching a soggy gift bag, shouts, honestly, Linda, this is what you deserve. A few nod, someone claps, and Linda's face collapses like a bad souffle. The bride shoots me a look half sorry, half grateful before telling her mom, you're not coming to the honeymoon. Ouch. I scratch Maverick's ears and mutter, think we fixed the HOA issue, bud. By Monday, the neighborhood's buzzing. The HOA group chats a war zone. Someone leaked a clip of Patsy on the DJ booth like she's accepting a Grammy. Linda tries to spin it as an unprovoked attack during a sacred event, but the board's not buying it. When your guests trespass, block private property, and get herded into a mud pit, HOA clout doesn't stretch far. Linda's suspended indefinitely. The next HOA meeting? Held at my place, potluck style, dogs welcome. Buck and Maverick got hero status. Someone crafted them sheriff badges from bottle caps. I got my driveway back, my peace restored, and a tale that earns me free beers at the local bar every time I tell it. So, next time someone blocks you in, skip the tow truck, call the goats. Love a good comeback story? I've got a playlist of them. Comment where you're watching from.